Today's episode is sponsored by Calypso Cigar Shop and Lounge in Richardson, Texas, one of Dallas-Fort Worth's premier cigar lounges. If you haven't been there yet, go check it out. Off of I-75 and Arapahoe, it has one of the largest humidors in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, filled with some of the best cigars on the planet. They also have a beautiful lounge you can sit at and enjoy your cigar. So go visit Matt and the crew at Calypso Cigar Shop and Lounge, located at 1002 North Central Expressway, Suite 589 in Richardson, Texas. And hey, if you're not in the area, give them a call at 972-761-9903. That number again, 972-761-9903.
Hi, this is Randy Rankin with Cigars and Cinema and Christoph Cigars. I'm sure you all have had a Christoph cigar, and if you haven't, you really need to try them. Our Corojo Limitado was number 13 in Cigar Aficionado, and our current Pissed Off Christoph is off the charts. Plus, we just won the Best Value Dominican Cigar with our Ligero Maduro. We've got everything from mild to medium to full body. So be sure and ask for Christoph Cigars at your local B&M.
Cigars
and Cinema.
Hey everybody, it's Brandon Luna with Cigars and Cinema, and I'm doing another satellite episode. It's just me this time. Went and saw something at the theater today because I was bored and I wanted to check out an action movie, and guess what? I saw Mechanic Resurrection with Jason Statham. No idea why I decided to see this, because it was an utter and total piece of crap. Sorry, Jason. I typically like your movies. I think you do very well with the action genre, but this one, what the hell were you thinking? Totally unnecessary sequel. I'll give it this. The action sequences were good. Very well thought out, very well shot, but it seemed like it was straight out of a video game. It just had that feel to it, and it just really wasn't great. So, review over. Very short, sweet, to the point. No, I'm just kidding. I'm going to get into some details. But, yeah, this is a dollar theater movie because it's already out of the regular theaters. And, I get that. I paid $1 for it. I can't be too upset about the amount of money that I spent to see it. But still, yeah, come on, guys. I don't know. I mean, Jason Statham's had some good hits in the past. I think he's one of these actors that's probably underused by Hollywood. I think he's worth more than the sum of his parts. We tend to stick him in these action movies as these, no-name, kind of no-face action characters that don't have a lot of depth. But I think he's actually a pretty decent actor. If you've seen anything he's done with Guy Ritchie, he tends to kind of give his 110% in those. Revolver is a good example of him actually putting out a performance. The Bank Job is another one. He's a decent actor. He just doesn't really get the opportunity to do enough. And this is a prime example of that. So the reason I heard this movie was made was that, to be honest with you, the Mechanic didn't do great. It wasn't like super big box office hit. It didn't do a bunch of money. But I guess it was good enough that people were considering a sequel. This was something that was financed by him because he had done a lot of guest starring roles in other movies like Spy and Expendables and whatever, and he felt that his fans wanted to see him in a starring role again, so he funded this, and now we have Mechanic Resurrection. And honestly, this is one of those movies that I feel kind of falls into that category of I want to go really cool places on vacation and film a movie while I'm there, because the movie's beautiful. I mean, it was shot in some great locations, Thailand, etc. These beautiful beaches, beautiful sets, and it looks like it was just, the script was written around a vacation. That's exactly what this movie looks like to me, and I hate to say it, but that's the way it feels. And the weird part is the director of this, and that's really the reason I wanted to see this, was Dennis Gansel, who's a German director that does a lot of good stuff, and he's one of these directors that has kind of done other movies that would make you think, would lead you to believe that this is going to be a good film, if that makes sense. I mean, he did We Are the Night in 2010, which, if you haven't seen it, it's a very cool vampire movie. He did The Fourth State in 2012, which is a really cool espionage kind of thriller thing, terrorist plot in Moscow and all this cool Secret Service shit. So going from those, you think, okay, this is going to be a really cool, well-thought-out movie. Unfortunately, The Mechanic Resurrection just kind of falls flat. I'll give you an idea. Here's the synopsis of the plot real quick. Arthur Bishop thought he had put his murderous past behind him when his most formidable foe kidnaps the love of his life. Now he's forced to travel the globe to complete 3 impossible assassinations and do them as he does best, make them look like accidents. That just right there, the plot alone just tells you this movie's just total garbage. Okay, so he has okay, let's get to the love of his life part. Okay, so first off, he's pretending to be dead from the first movie. The first scene, he goes and eats at this restaurant way out in the open on the top of this cliff. There's no really a decent escape route, and someone confronts him and says, "Hey, we know who you are. You're not dead, and if you do these 3 kills for us, you'll be continue to be dead. But if you don't do these kills for us, then we're going to tell everybody who you are, and your life's going to be a mess." And he's like, "What?" So he beats the heck out of these guys, which is a cool sequence and very good action sequence, greatly shot, and Jason's in top form. And then jumps off this mountain and jumps onto a freaking gliding, someone that's on a hang glider. Like, really? Come on. I mean, don't even try to be realistic at all. I mean, they got away with it in Crank because, I love the Crank movies. I'll say this right off the bat. Crank, to me, is like the best stuff that he's done because it's just so off the wall, crazy, bazinga nuts. But it's okay because it's acceptable. It's supposed to be crazy off the wall bazinga nuts, and I accept that. That's fine, and that's why I love the Crank movies, because they are that. I mean, they go for it and they do it very well. Transporter movies are okay as well. I think they progressively got worse. I thought they started very well and then kind of went downhill. And I even like him in the Fast and Furious movies. I think he does a very good job in those. But to say, and I remember seeing it. Okay, God, I'm just so frustrated right now. I hate that I didn't like this movie. So I saw him in interviews before the film. And he's like, "Yeah, we're really trying to make this movie be really realistic, and we've got this realistic action sequences, and we're trying to make sure that it's totally realistic." And then you jump on a freaking hang glider. Like, come on, dude! Don't say it's trying to be. It's great that you do your own stunts, and I appreciate that. But come on, man! Jumping on a hang glider—that's so stupid. Anyway. So, pretty passionate about how much I hate this movie, and I just really wanted to like it, and I'm so sad rather, that I didn't. Another problem I have with this film is, they say in the plot, the love of his life. So Jessica Alba is in this movie for maybe 15, 20 minutes total screen time, maybe 30, I don't know. And she was put there as a mole. She was put there as someone to kind of get him to do this job for this guy, and he's supposed to fall in love with her, and then he figures it out, and he's like, "You're just put here so I can fall in love with you." And then he falls in love with her. I'm like, dude, what? And now he's getting coaxed into doing these 3 assassinations just because he loves Jessica Alba. You've known her for like a day or 2. Yeah, maybe she's really good in bed and she's hot, but come on, dude. You're not going to... At that point, if this was like based on fact, you'd be like, "All right, screw it, she's dead. I'm done. I'm out of here. I'm going to disappear again." So it doesn't make any sense at all. The plot is completely based on something that would not happen in real life at all. And yes, it's a movie. I understand it's a movie. Calm down. But it should have been a good movie. Now, The Mechanic in 2011 was not great. It was a decent sequel. I liked the fact that they took something that was kind of under the radar, like The Mechanic with Charles Bronson, and remade it. I like that Hollywood did that. I don't typically like remakes, but this one made sense to me because The Mechanic was kind of a smaller movie for Charles Bronson. It wasn't really a big deal, but I could see that the need for them to remake that, or the desire to remake that into something that could be something great. And it turned out okay. I'd give the original Mechanic with Jason Statham probably like a 6.5 or 7. I'd give the original with Charles Bronson like an 8. They're pretty close, really. I liked Jan Michael Vincent in the original. I thought he kind of stole the show over Charles Bronson. And I really liked Ben Foster in the second one, the remake with Jason Statham, because I like Ben Foster, the guy's a good actor, and I think he stole the show. So, but there's no one like that in this one. It basically relies on Jason Statham and Jessica Alba. And Jessica Alba's really a weak, kind of on-the-surface character that doesn't have a whole lot to do. She seems to be from a military background, like maybe she can handle herself, but not enough to get out of these situations. She does a lot of elbow hits. She hits a lot of guys with elbows, and then a lot of nut kicks. That's basically what she does. She looks sexy and hits people with elbows and kicks them in the nuts. That's the essence of her character at this point, and that's probably why she took the role. She's like, how many guys do I get to kick in the nuts? Well, maybe 5. Can you make it 10? Yeah, we'll make it 10. Okay, good. I'll do the movie. That's fine. And so he's got these 3 guys he has to kill, and they're all bad guys, and I get it. These guys aren't good people on the surface, so it's okay to kill these guys, and making them look like an accident was cool. And the first thing I thought of after the first kill was that Jason Statham should have played Agent 47 in the Hitman movies day one. If he had done it, it would have been a great series. It would have been a better series probably than The Mechanic. It probably would have been a better series than The Transporter. But for some reason, he's never played this character. I don't know why he hasn't, but he should. And these kill scenes that they've done, in the at least the first two sequences, are very much straight out of a Hitman video game. Agent 47 doing these things to try and make them look like they're, not assassinations, as it were, as accidents, quote unquote. And they're great. And they're good sequences, good action sequences, super high body count in this. And it's, it almost seems like the thought process when they're writing the script is, well, we're going to kill a bunch of people, but don't worry about the bodies because they'll just disappear like a video game, right? Because they don't care. I mean, he's stacking bodies up left and right. Bad guys are walking around the corners, not seeing bodies. He's killing another guy. It's like, where are the bodies going? They're just stacking up and just disappearing like a video game. It's crazy. And then when you get to the third one, all of a sudden, and it's kind of spoiler territory here, and I've already spoiled everything anyway, but whatever. That's what we do when we review things. We spoil them. He gets to the third kill, and it's Tommy Lee Jones. Like, why the hell is Tommy Lee Jones in this movie? He's like 10 levels above the quality of this movie, and he's just slumming it in this flick. Has he gone down that much that he's not getting offered roles that would be worthy of him? Like, is he crossed over into Bruce Willis territory where everything he's going to do now is made for video? I hate to think that he's there, and I really hate to think that Bruce Willis is there, but he is. If you haven't noticed that, Bruce Willis's career is like in the toilet now. Everything he does is straight to video, and for some reason 50 cents in all of it, which is fucking weird. But anyway, so Tommy Lee Jones is in the last 30 minutes of this movie. Not a developed character at all, but he does this Tommy Lee Jones thing, and he's pretty good in it. He kind of brings it up to the next level, and then the movie kind of ends, and you're like, what the hell? So I don't know what the hell they were thinking with this. It's just not a great flick at all. It could have been a lot better. It could have been James Bondish, I guess. It could have been like, a lead way into Jason Statham having his own kind of Bond series, I think, more so than The Transporter or Crank. But it just, between the sloppy filmmaking, bad CGI. Like, the CGI is bad. Like, they're filming in all these great spots, and for some reason it always looks like there's a halo around everything. Like, maybe they filmed for a day in that great spot, and then the rest of it's CGI. Just really bad CGI in this film. Really bad CGI. I don't know why, but it looks like they filmed it with an Amiga Commodore or something. I don't know. It looks bad. It looks like 80s CGI is what it looks like. Like, pre-Jurassic Park CGI, we'll say that. So, it doesn't look good. And, I don't know. I really wanted to like it. Oh, another thing. This is a big one for me. Michelle Yeoh's in this movie. If you don't know who she was a big kung fu actress in the 80s and 90s with Jackie Chan. Jackie Chan kind of brought her into prominence, and she became a big actress over in Hong Kong cinema. Great martial artist. She was a model first, martial artist, gymnast. Beautiful woman, fantastic martial artist. Does no martial arts in this movie at all. She's there. I don't know why she's there. She has like 12 lines, and she plays a character that we're supposed to know or something. I don't know. But she's totally wasted in this movie. Why would you put someone of her caliber in a movie and not have her do martial arts? They did the same thing back to, Strike Back, this TV show that came out on Cinemax a while back called Strike Back. A great, great action show. If you've never seen Strike Back, find it, download it. I think it's on Amazon Prime, possibly. If you haven't seen that show, watch it. It's a fantastic action show with great action sequences, very 24-ish with boobs, basically, is what it is. And Michelle Yeoh's in that for a season and does no martial arts as well. It's like, what the hell? It's like, she's not that old, is she? I don't know. How old is this lady? Michelle Yeoh, she's probably in her 50s, I would think. 54. Okay, so she's 54. But still, Jackie Chan's doing martial arts, and the guy's like 80 million years old, so she should be able to do it as well. I know she was in the recent sequel to Crouching Tiger on Netflix, but I haven't seen it yet, to be fair. So I don't know if she does martial arts in that. I'm assuming she does, but I haven't seen it yet, so I don't know. But yeah, just completely wasted in this movie. And the bad guy, what a fucking pansy. Sam Hazeldine is his name. He plays the character Crane, who's basically just a douchebag with money and makes him do all these things. And, I always hate this in movies when you have... Okay, I hate this. This is a big pet peeve of mine as an action film fan. So if you're going to have an action film with a guy who kicks major ass in it, like Jason Statham, Stallone, Jean-Claude Van Damme, Steven Seagal, any of these guys that kick ass, Bruce Lee, Jackie Chan, don't make the bad guy some complete pussy who can't fight. and then have the final fight sequence. All of a sudden, it's a challenge for the good guy. Now, he's kicked everybody's ass in this movie. He's kicked people's asses in like 2 seconds. Like, I'm going to shoot you in the face, I'm going to kick this guy in the nuts, throw him over the thing, break his arm. He throws a guy on a grenade in a pool. He does all these great things. And then when he gets to the last guy, oh, it's a struggle. But the guy can't even fight. What is that about, Hollywood? Why do you do that? That's the stupidest fucking thing in every action movie ever made that's not a complete A-grade action movie. I mean, you get to Die Hard and with Bruce Willis, and there's no fight sequence there. That makes more sense to me. But anytime you get into a Jean-Claude Van Damme movie or a Steven Seagal movie or something else in that realm, Jason Statham, whatever, there's always that last sequence where, even James Bond movies, look at Quantum of Solace. James Bond has an extraordinarily long fight sequence with the guy at the end of the movie who is a complete fucking pussy, just like throwing a wrench around or something. That sequence should have been like 2 seconds. James Bond should have grabbed him, broke his neck, and it would have been over. But supposedly, this guy's a challenge for it. No, give me a formidable bad guy. Give me a bad guy who's kicked ass throughout the whole movie, and I know I'm going to get a great fight scene at the end of the movie. Not some pansy, chicken shit, rich guy who can't fight, and then you have a fight sequence at the end. That is such a fucking piece of shit, stupid thing to do with action movies, and they've done it over and over and over again, and I hate that. So stop it, Hollywood. Stop doing that crap. Give me a bad guy that's worth a shit, and let my guy fight him and have it be an awesome sequence. Learn something from Hong Kong cinema. You've learned a lot, but you haven't learned enough, Hollywood. So, Mechanic Resurrection, complete waste of time. Don't watch it. If you watch it, skip through, watch the action sequences, and call it a day. The rest of it is a complete waste. And I'm sorry, Jason. I love you, guy. I think you do good work, but this is not your best work. And I hope you come back with better. So that's it. Thanks for listening today for this satellite episode of Cigars and Cinema, my ripping of a new asshole, Mechanic Resurrection. And it's been great smoking with you.